What's happening, Price Plow Nation? This is Mike Roberto, founder of Price Plow, your source for supplement news, reviews, interviews, diet research, and all sorts of ingredient discussions. So here's what just happened. I just finished my review / ingredient explainer on SteelFit's shredded steel. Well, the video ran like 30 minutes long, so we're gonna break this one in half. Right now, you're about to watch the actual ingredient explanation where I break things down. But I do think you should go back and also watch my review, because there I talk a lot about the effects from this wild supplement, this very unique, very wild supplement. I'm going to get onto a big rant on iodine. And so it's very useful to know, but it is a little bit lengthy. So we're making this a separate video. The review overall though is that the 10 milligrams of yohimbine is the make it or break it moment. And I loved it. I'd never taken that dose and I thought it was awesome. Paired with 150 milligrams of caffeine. I took it solo, has 100 milligrams of teacrine. Energy was incredible. I was wired, I felt virile, I felt great. So check out the review where we talk about that. Then over the course of time, I started getting a little bit used to it, and I was able to actually stack in some caffeine or some extra coffee as well. But you could also stack in other stuff from SteelFit, such as their Steel Sweat thermogenic powder right here, which is wild as well. Very, very hot stuff. And it's only got 100 milligrams of caffeine. So anyway, let's talk about the ingredients here of shredded steel, because this stuff is fantastically unique. We have a new ingredient in Alluvia from Maypro Industries, Alluvia Purple Tea Extract, standardized for GHG. And so you'll want to stick around for that one. But now let's get started and get back into my rant, where we're going to be talking about iodine for a little bit. And I don't know why other fat burners don't include it. I don't know why other supplement brands aren't putting iodine in their fat burners, because I think this is a no-brainer. All right, thanks for watching. Let's have at it.
Welcome to Price Plow.
But the main thing that I haven't talked about that really impressed me right off the bat, the first thing I saw on this label was the fact that they're including iodine. And the iodine comes from kelp here. Now, as a few people have seen some videos from like maybe about a year ago where I went on some rants and everything, and I'd like to go deeper down this rabbit hole. But essentially, this is an element that is used alongside of tyrosine to create your thyroid hormones in your thyroid. And those thyroid hormones, T3 and T4, they control all sorts of metabolic processes. When you are low on iodine, you can't produce these thyroid hormones, and when you're low on those, it's called hypothyroidism. There's many ways that you can have a hypothyroidism. I think iodine deficiency is an easily solved one, because you just got to supplement iodine and your body will have what it needs. Anyway, when you have low levels of iodine, if you have hypothyroidism, everything just feels lethargic. Everything slows down, everything sucks, and you're tired, your metabolism slows to a halt, and because the thyroid hormones that are generated, they control the metabolism, they help control muscle protein synthesis. We got to go deeper into this. Now here's where I'm going with this though. Over the course of time, in humanity, humans have always congregated near water, of course. We need water to live, obviously, and we are fish eaters. Unfortunately, in this country, we're not as much fish eaters anymore. We should be. That's a whole other rant with the whole omega-3 thing and everything. Well, small fish have lots of iodine in them. Seaweed and kelp have tons of iodine in them, and these are things that we aren't eating enough of. Further, to make it even worse that we're not getting enough in, unless you supplement it with a multivitamin or a kelp pill or something like that that has iodine in it, well, over the course of time, in the course of like the last couple of millennia, we started realizing that as we're getting away from our waterways, and we weren't eating seaweed all the time, unless we're Japanese. We weren't eating seaweed all the time. I'm kind of speaking to Americans and Canadians and stuff here. Well, what happened over the course of time is there was serious iodine deficiencies, and one of the most visible symptoms of that is goiter. Now, when that started happening, they realized, okay, this is iodine deficiency. They started adding iodine to the bread, actually. And then, over the course of time, instead of that, they moved to using bromine in bread, which is a competing element of iodine, and put the iodine in salt, iodized salt. Meanwhile, around the push started in the 40s, but it got really hot and heavy in the 70s, we started adding fluoride to our water. Notwithstanding all the problems where it lowers IQ in children and does all sorts of crazy stuff, and really honestly doesn't need to go anywhere past the teeth. There's not a single usable function for fluoride within your body past maybe your teeth, maybe. Well, the problem is that fluoride is highly reactive and it can displace iodine in a lot of biochemical processes, and it is a thyroid disruptor. So we've added fluoride to our water. We may still have bromine in our bread. We now have chlorine in our water, yet another, on the periodic table, I'm just going straight down these elements right here. They all compete with iodine. You have chlorine in our water, and if you don't think so, then go check your water test. I had mine tested, and it's nasty, and it's not even as bad as when I go to my parents' house in Cleveland. It smells like a swimming pool. Lots of chlorine in the water. And now, to add to it, everyone's getting all hot and trendy. Look at these food bloggers. They're talking about using gourmet sea salt, which is not iodized. Guess what? We're now taking the iodine out of our salt. I truly believe that this nation, we are slowly poisoning ourselves because we have a low-level hypothyroidism because we're not getting any iodine in, and any iodine we are getting in is getting displaced by the fluoride, the bromine, the chlorine, and then we stop eating iodized salt because it's not cool anymore. Anyway, you need iodine. The body needs iodine. It doesn't even seem like it doesn't seem like there's too low of a limit to that too, so you can have a lot of it, and we get none of it. So just the mere fact that all these things combined, I've always wondered why doesn't someone put iodine in a fat burner? Worst case, nothing happens. Best case, someone who's low on iodine, if you're low on iodine and you take this, you're gonna feel it. Like, it's gonna feel like $1 million. I guarantee you that. And you're gonna blame the supplement, and you kind of should. But at the same time, you could have done that with some iodized salt. Get some low salt. That's what I like because it's got some potassium in it. Or actually just take an iodine supplement. Make sure you have a good multivitamin. Or stop drinking fluoride left and right. But that's expensive to filter out. Trust me. We should post a review on that. Anyway, so I love what they did right off the bat. I saw iodine, I said, sign me up. I'm in. Let's talk about this. But then I got hit by the yohimbine. So overall, incredibly positive review. That's my review of this. If you think you can handle some yohimbine, and I think more people can than they believe, take 2 capsules, work up to 3, and watch what happens. This stuff feels crazy good. And when I'm fasting, that yohimbine dose annihilates my appetite. The theacrine lasts a long time. The ashwagandha seems to just level everything out. This is a fantastic fat burner, and I am incredibly excited about it. Check out PricePlow.com/SteelFit if you're interested in checking this out. I believe we have a link directly to their site for this one. And they are sponsoring a contest. I should have said this right up front. I did get this for free. And they are sponsoring a contest on our website and a few other promotions. But overall, I saw this, like I said, I saw iodine, I was already in, and then the yohimbine hit. So what is after that? So we started with 500 milligrams of L-carnitine L-tartrate, which is cool. I'll always take L-carnitine. This is an amino acid that helps with fatty acid transport. The thing is that the most clinical studies that we cite are of 2 grams or more. If you stack it with this guy, you get another gram. You're still not fully at clinical. However, I've become a bit more of a meat eater lately, and so I get enough carnitine from meat. But if you're not eating carnitine, I think you will feel great from this. I also think you'll feel greater if you add even more. So you got to look at what you're eating and that's what should decide what you want to supplement. So L-carnitine, being a fatty acid transporter, helps a ton, but you need to have enough of it in your system. Otherwise, things kind of just slow down. It's great for vegans, vegetarians, elderly, recovering athletes, and anyone who's just not eating enough meat in general. You don't even need to be a vegan. A lot of people I don't think at this point are eating enough meat or enough eggs. And so we might as well skip down lower to the label where I said eggs, because we do have 100 milligrams of citicoline. Not a huge dose, but enough of a dose that maybe I was feeling a little bit. Now, citicoline is a bioavailable form of choline, which is the molecule that's found in eggs that has all sorts of great brain boosting effects. And it turns out that there's also, it's synergistic with L-carnitine as well, and it helps with fatty acid metabolism. So when you are low on choline, you got the brain fog, and the best way to get more choline, really, it's not even supplements, it's eating eggs. So you have a lot of choline in eggs. If you eat, I would say, like with this supplement, if you're eating like 3 or 4 eggs a day, which is great, then you might not feel much from this. If you're eating like 1 or 2 eggs per day, then this is probably a supplement that'll cover you with choline. If you're not eating any eggs, you probably should even supplement even more. So 100 milligrams is a decent dose. We typically start feeling it at 250 milligrams when it's taken alone. 500 milligrams is a really good dose. And then if you have the cheaper forms of choline, like choline bitartrate, well, then you need like 2 grams or so, but this is more bioavailable. So The meat and the eggs thing keeps coming back up over and over, and you supplement around your diet. This is for the people who, you'll get away with an egg or so. You might want to just add a little bit more choline, and then it's going to help all sorts of processes. And that choline then helps your brain produce more acetylcholine, which we call the learning neurotransmitter. So you get a cognitive effect as well as some fat burning effects, and there's some very large choline doses. Yes, there are studies on women for fat loss, but I can't claim them with this dose, although I'll take it any time of the week. All right, so let's go back to the label. 150 milligrams of caffeine, I already mentioned that, and so I don't think I need to say much more. To me, in 3 capsules, that's not a whole lot, but when it's paired with 10 milligrams of yohimbine, it's plenty, trust me. At least at first, until you get used to the yohimbine, then I was able to add a small cup of coffee, which I honestly enjoy. So that's our caffeine dose. It's nothing astronomical, but it is stackable, and it's solid when paired with the other stuff in here. I did over here, skipped over ashwagandha, KSM 66, 300 milligrams, which is the trusted form of, or the most studied, most trusted, most utilized form of ashwagandha. Now this is an Ayurvedic herb. It's known as an adaptogen that helps regulate hormone levels in your body. So if you're not getting enough sleep, this stuff feels great. If you're stressed out, the main mechanism is that it works by reducing cortisol. If your cortisol levels are high, then you ain't gonna be burning any fat. If you are stressed out, you're not gonna be burning much fat. And if you're not sleeping, you're not gonna be burning much fat. This can help you. It can help increase the amount of sleep. And if you're all messed up and you have low cortisol levels, your testosterone is likely gonna plummet a little bit with it. Now, what's really cool is even in healthy males, this clinical dose of this is typically, it's 300 milligrams for some studies, oftentimes 600 milligrams. So if you like this stuff, you might want a little bit more. But even in healthy males, 600 milligrams per day in healthy males increase testosterone 15%. So there's so much good stuff with ashwagandha, but for the sake of this exercise, we're going to be talking about using it to lower cortisol. And to me, it's the feel-good effect of it just smoothing out all this crazy yohimbine and the little bit of caffeine and the teacrine, because the yohimbine can get some people some anxiety. Knock it down a little bit with the KSM 66 ashwagandha. I love that. Now next in the label here, we have 115 milligrams of the organic Atlantic kelp. Now that provides us with the 150 micrograms of iodine, which is at 100% USRDA. You can easily go higher. Don't worry if you're already having iodized salt, unless you have a thyroid condition. If you have hyperthyroidism, well, then you should be talking to your doctor before taking any type of supplement anyway. But overall, I'm not worried about going a little bit over if you already have iodized salt, or if you're already taking a multivitamin, multi-mineral that has iodine. I'm not worried about adding a little bit more. I don't know where the fear-mongering came with this stuff, because we need it, and we need it desperately. And then after that, I'm not sure exactly what else the kelp may be providing. It's there for the iodine, in my opinion. There probably are some benefits there. That's not what we focus on. I drill right into the iodine when I see kelp, and that's why it's here. So we have 100 milligrams after that of teacrine. Now, teacrine is kind of a sister to caffeine, in that it's a similar molecule, but it definitely doesn't provide like the tolerance buildup that caffeine does, and it definitely doesn't hit as strong or as hard or as fast as caffeine. The thing is that it kind of works alongside the stuff that it's paired with, and it lasts a long time. So that's what's cool about teacrine. Now the situation is that when it was coming out around 2014, 2015 maybe, we were realizing that we weren't really feeling it at 25 milligrams. I don't think we were feeling it at 50 milligrams, but at 100 milligrams, that is actually where we were starting to get some effects from it. Mix it with caffeine, and things just they were a little bit longer. And now some companies have switched to Dynamine, same kind of situation. When I get 100 milligrams of that stuff, I like it. So this one makes the whole effect last longer, and I think it's kind of dragging out the 150 milligrams of caffeine, which is really appreciated, since I usually do have more caffeine than that. And so that's the teacrine component. I do like the 100 milligram dose, and it's just a little bit of an extra boost. But I really think the real boost is coming for the yohimbine here. All right, what's next? All right, so after that, we have evodiamine fruit extract, 100 milligrams. Now, this is a spicy thermogenic ingredient. Maybe it'll increase energy expenditure, but for sure, it is thermogenic, and it heats you up. It heats me up, at least. And so it's also in their Steel Sweat thermogenic powder, and it works on the vanilloid receptor, and is kind of similar to capsaicin, or the stuff in red pepper extract, very similar to that. So that's the similar pathway, although I get less spiciness from it. However, we do have a spice in here as well, and we might as well talk about that now. 40 milligrams of grains of paradise extract. If you follow this channel, you know that I'm huge for grains of paradise extract. This is yet another thermogenic ingredient. It's very spicy. When you put it in the powders like this one, you definitely taste it. And I've kind of grown accustomed to tasting it, but I do like the thermogenic effect of it. And it seems to induce the browning of fat, which is like the thermogenic energy expenditure increasing fat. And what's awesome about this is that we have 2 clinical studies, one of them at 30 milligrams, one of them at 40 milligrams, so we have a clinical dose here, and that's what I love about grains of paradise, is that, I don't know, if you can handle the spiciness, I never got a burp or nothing out of this one. That was like the least of my worries with this product. If you can handle that little bit of spiciness, it typically is very well received by everyone, and is my favorite stimulant-free ingredient when it comes to fat burning. After that, I have been beating around the bush 100 milligrams of Alluvia purple tea extract. This is extracted for GHG, which we'll just throw the letters up right here because I'm not going to even go into producing it. So we know that different types of tea are very healthy. You have green tea and you have EGC and EGCG and all these catechins, epicatechin, and they're all very beneficial for various purposes. Purple tea is different in that it has GHG, which seems to fight the buildup of fats, adiposity. And there was a study done for 4 weeks, and if you let me reference it, we have 11 males and 7 females were given 100 milligrams of Alluvia. Now this ingredient comes from a company known as Maypro, so Alluvia purple tea extract. And we'll put up some charts and we'll make some links to you. We have a link, actually I should have said this earlier on, we have a blog post where we're talking about all this stuff. Now the blog post, as you can see, kind of got long-winded because this is an interesting supplement. And anyway, the researchers saw an increase in lean body mass percentage because they were burning more fat. Now, I believe they were training, obviously, if that was happening. So this is kind of a, one of the studies they probably were working out. But that's what most people taking a fat burner should be doing anyway. Now, the list of cool benefits. So it lowered their BMIs, it lowered body weight, it lowered body fat mass, but it increased lean mass, which is awesome. They had less abdominal fat, and then so it improved their body fat ratio basically. So it was a really successful study, but it was just one study. Things need to be replicated, things need to be done over and over and over. And then again, it's just one of those things where, hey, it worked on these 11 dudes and these 7 women. We can't make complete claims based on one study, but needless to say, it's very promising, and I'm excited to see. I'm always excited to see new ingredients. That's what we do here, and so we like to talk about this stuff. We really enjoy seeing new things. Did I feel the purple tea? I'm going to say no, I don't think so, because maybe, but I'm pretty sure I was feeling the Iodine more so than anything. But overall, keep your eyes on Alluvia and what Maypro Industries is doing. But they have one successful study here, and it seems to have some pretty good effects when you have enough of the GHG, and they're only extracting 3% out of the GHG. So there's some other stuff, some other catechins probably coming in with the purple tea extract, but mostly we're going for the 3 milligrams of GHG worth out of there, and that's where they're actually getting benefits out of that. So seems like a pretty cool molecule. We'll need to dig a little deeper into the mechanisms later on, and that should be fun. So we talked about iodine, we talked about citicoline, talked about grains of paradise. All right, well, all that's left is yohimbine HCl. So the way the label actually says is yohimbi HCl. So I was like, what does that mean? They actually have a very, very highly purified, extracted form of yohimbi, which is standardized for like 98% yohimbine. So really what they're doing is they have like 10.2 milligrams of this yohimbi extract that leads to 10 milligrams of yohimbine. So what that is that's a high dose. And some people have worked up to even higher doses. I had never done that. Maybe I should have, because I enjoy it so much. Like I said, it made me feel virile, and it's a great appetite suppressant. It increases adrenaline levels, and I believe that might increase the ability to generate ketones. It seems to be very keto friendly, and especially when fasting. If our livers are already flushed of glucose and we are increasing adrenaline, what that means is that our bodies are going to start burning fat for energy a little bit quicker. So I think this is a great thing to take when fasting if you can handle it, because the side effects are a little bit of anxiety. Now, it is a selective alpha-2 adrenergic antagonist, so it blocks the mechanisms of the alpha-2 adrenergic receptor, and those have to do with fat storage. So it's kind of like, in a way, a fat storage blocker in a way. There's a couple different ways of looking at it, but in general, what that might do is keep more free fatty acids circulating around. So if you're fat adapted, if you're a low carber who occasionally likes to jump on into ketosis, even if it's just like during the end of your fast and you get in and out, then I think this is going to enhance that process a little bit. It does increase adrenaline, and because of that, some people get anxious. The KSM66 might help level that out, but if you know that you can't handle it, the best I can say is just take one capsule, drink some coffee, and see what happens. But overall, yohimbine at 10 milligrams, first time ever doing it, and I wish I would have done it earlier. Wish I would have been a wimp, because it's really enjoyable for me. Your mileage may vary. Other than that, and I mentioned it's an appetite suppressant. So, incredible stuff. That is about it. We have 5 milligrams of bioperine, the black pepper extract, that helps enhance the bioavailability of the other ingredients. And we'll show some B-roll throughout this, showing the capsules and everything, but you have these cool little capsules. Shredded Steel, doing some awesome stuff here. Iodine, tea cream, tons of yohimbine, grains of paradise, not too much caffeine, and then of course the purple tea extract, the alluvia, the new ingredient that we haven't covered before. So all sorts of great stuff. Huge fan of this. Thanks for subscribing. Check out PricePlow.com/SteelFit for our reviews and for more news alerts from SteelFit. Thanks again.
Welcome to Price Plow.